This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Since losing my dad and my grandmother this year, my poor husband has fallen victim to being my therapist on top of being my husband and life partner and everything else. So I reached out to BetterHelp, not only about sponsoring the podcast, but for therapy for me. And it's super easy, very user-friendly. I have both an app and the website. I can reach out directly to my therapist when needed. I also have a live session every Monday or Tuesday. We talk ad nauseum for like 45 minutes about all the things that are going on in my life. And I'm telling you, immediately after those sessions, I feel like refreshed and rejuvenated and like I've just taken a 10-pound weight off my shoulders. If you are interested in BetterHelp, in online therapy, in getting your life together, I suggest that you go to betterhelp.com/BGP. Again, betterhelp.com/BGP for Big Girl Pants Podcast. And thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring the podcast.
Hi, this is Big Girl Pants Podcast,
Where we talk about women, health, power, and wealth.
hosted by
April Melton.
and Kimberly Shapiro.
We are real women with real jobs doing real life.
Join us while we showcase inspirational stories and inspirational people.
Come on, y'all. Put your big girl pants on and stay tuned. Hi, welcome back to Big Girl Pants Podcast. I am Sans Shapiro today. She made some plans, so she's too cool for us. But today we have Lyndsey Monahan. This is actually a friend of mine that I met, gosh, how many years ago?
I think 3 or 4
4
years ago.
years ago, yeah. Lyndsey is a money guru. I will let you do a formal introduction and explain to everybody who you are, but we are here to talk about all the things money. And all the things life, because we've been talking about life for about 30 minutes now. So for everybody who's watching and listening, tell them who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. So I'm Lyndsey Monahan, and I'm a financial advisor with a company called WealthWave.
Okay.
And we have this fabulous book sitting in front of us called How Money Works, because the CEO of our company, Tom Matthews, and mental toughness coach, Steve Siebold, wrote this book together to help teach people about money, right?
Everybody who's looking, how money works.
But a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Central Illinois by a single mom. My dad was a massive alcoholic. And so that kind of had a big impact on my life.
Yeah.
Got made fun of a lot in school, all those not fun things about living in a small town.
Yeah.
All the things, right? All of them. I just knew that my dreams were too big for that small town. And so as soon as I could make a plan to get out of there, I did. Like,
good for
there
you.
was no questions asked. I was going to college. I was going to get a job, all the things, right?
Yeah.
So went to Illinois State, started working at a big red
Illinois
insurance
State,
company.
what are they?
They're Redbirds.
Okay.
Go Redbirds.
Got it. What's the one that's fighting Illinois or whatever?
Fighting Illini, University of Illinois. Yeah.
Got it.
Half my family went there, half of us are Redbirds.
My dad had a
Redbirds.
sweatshirt from there, and I wore it all the time whenever I would go to his house. And he passed earlier this year.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's also from Illinois. He's from a tiny, tiny town called Dallas City, Illinois, which is so
wow.
ironic because he moved to Texas in Dallas and then lived off of Illinois Avenue in Dallas.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That's crazy.
Like full circle type shit. Crazy. But anyway,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah, so my little town was called Strawn, Illinois. And there's
Okay.
a Strawn, Texas, too. I think they're about the same size.
I think they have the same amount of people who live there.
Pretty sure. But yeah, so I started working at this big red insurance company in Central Illinois. Loved it. Had a great time there. I just knew that eventually I was tired of working for the man.
Yeah.
And I got really into personal finance.
Working for the man.
Yeah, I know, right? God, it's rough. I don't know anything about it anymore,
The
but
struggle. It's really fun.
But no, I had an awesome mentor there that he would teach me a little about personal finance. And he said, there's 2 books I want you to read. He wants me to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, and then also read Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey.
Okay.
Best piece of advice I ever got in my life.
Yeah.
Hands down.
How old were you when you got that advice?
I was probably 25.
And up to that point, how were you with money?
Shitty.
Cool. I'm so glad you said that because I'm like, I love a transformation story. That's my shit. 100%.
Yeah, it was really bad. So at that point, like, he's like, you're just going to find yourself somewhere between the two. Like, they're both extremes.
Sure.
Figure out where you're at.
Yeah. Why? So it's been I probably read Rich Dad, Poor Dad when I was like 22.
Yeah.
And that was 12 years ago. So but I know a little bit more about Dave Ramsey's practices and what he preaches.
Of course.
I listen to some of his like YouTubes and podcasts and stuff like that. But what's the extremes? How are they extreme from each other?
Yeah. So the extreme is Rich Dad, Poor Dad is all about how to make your money work for you.
Right.
And so he's very, Robert Kiyosaki is very into real estate, having those rent checks come in every month.
Yeah.
Passive income.
Yep.
Dave Ramsey is completely the opposite.
Cash.
No debt.
No
That's
credit.
horrible.
Right.
Don't have any credit.
Don't use credit cards.
Yeah. So find yourself somewhere happy in the middle.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then, so from there, you work for this person and he gives you this advice and then you kind of...
Yeah. I started learning more about personal finance myself. The ironic thing about all of this is my uncle owns 8 banks in Central Illinois and he never taught me about money.
Bro. Why is it so emotional?
It is. It's so emotional.
It's so damn emotional.
Yeah.
Why can't we just be a little more like practical, realistic about money? Why can't we just talk about it?
So you can build those healthy habits. It
Why
just
does it
takes
just
a while.
why does it have to be such a faux pas? Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like we don't look at things like I'm trying to think of a good analogy. Like we don't look at, you know, when you go cut the grass, right? We have like 10,000 what do they call those? What is grass called?
Blades.
Blades of grass. We have 10,000 blades of grass. So we don't look at grass like, well, we need to cut 7,500 blades of this grass. Okay, whatever.
Right. You just go and you do the thing,
You just
right?
go do the thing, and then that's it. You're done with it. You're over it. Whatever.
Right.
But with money, God forbid you bring up at the dinner table that you
do
have
not bring it up at
7,500 blades of grass. You know?
Yeah. Because
then you're
everybody has opinion about what you should do with it or what you shouldn't do with it, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Opinions.
I know. It's like the theme in society today, right? But it's for real, though. Like, every decision you make in life is probably impacted by money in some way, shape, or form. And so that's what drives the emotion behind it.
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
And then you get like me, and I came from, I don't want to say that we didn't talk about money, but we definitely, there was a prevalence of how much we did not have. So like, we're broke, we can't afford that, we can't do this, we can't do that. So those like limiting beliefs, you know, that's where those came in. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, which is funny to me because growing up, I'm 33, I'll be 34 actually next Sunday.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
In
Happy
advance.
early birthday. But it was like you know, I get to the point where I see these people especially on social media, like Instagram and stuff, and I'm like, how can you afford that? Like people go on vacations and stuff. I'm like, how much does that cost? Like, how much does this cost?
So you should come from a standpoint of looking at those posts like they can't, because you'd be surprised at the amount of people I sit down with that do extravagant things.
They can't.
And
that shouldn't.
They
should
can.
not.
They can.
It's a poor financial decision.
It totally is.
But they shouldn't.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like this could go for 7 hours.
It could. I'm sure it could.
Yeah, because I see this stuff and I'm like, okay, well, and especially when I look at outfits, right?
Oh, yes.
Gucci belts, Louboutin shoes. Okay, so just your belt and your shoes. And Gucci belts, honestly, that sounds a little extravagant, but they're like, what, $200, $250? I think they really are like only $250 for a belt, which I say only.
I was going to say only.
And I'm wearing a belt from Express.
I don't have one, but the one that I spent the most money on was like $20 at Target or something.
And it's reversible, so it's 2 belts.
That's a great buy.
That's a great buy.
It is.
Thank you, Express. It's breaking a little bit, but whatever.
Hey.
It works. It does the job. But it's like, I look at it and it's like, you have a $250 belt on, you have $1,200 shoes on. You know, let's say you got some fast fashion in between. You know, you got some Forever 21, you got some cheap Amazon,
H&M.
something. Yeah, H&M. That's what I'm wearing this shirt. Thank
Love
you.
it.
But then I'm like, man, what could you have done with the money that you're wearing? You're wearing your money. And there's a lot of people that wear their money as an attempt to show and impress people that they don't care about.
Oh, boy.
Why are we doing that?
Oh, man.
Why are you doing that, man?
I hear Byron in my head right now. Like, his response to
And Byron is your husband.
He is my husband.
Who is also a financial advisor, right?
So he was licensed to be a financial advisor.
Okay.
He actually took a step back from the business. He and his brother are running a farmer's agency right now, actually.
Okay, so for insurance.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
It's same family. Like, we're
Either way,
yeah.
right.
We're
Like
in the
still-
house.
Right.
We do insurance.
We're in the house. We're here.
We're here.
Okay, so but yeah, and you guys are very similar.
We are.
Especially when it comes to finances and money and what you're going to spend your money on. Okay.
Absolutely. But like his thing, like when we start talking about people that spend money to impress people, or, you know, you are walking around with labels and you can't afford, you know, your groceries,
yeah.
right?
Or gas in your car.
The whole thing is, why don't people say, who is that person? Like, who the F are they? Right? Like, that's his big thing.
The ironic thing for me is you idolize, let's say, a celebrity, right?
Yeah.
I idolize a bunch of them. Look at J-Lo. She's hot. She's so hot.
I hope I look that good at 50 plus.
But guess what? J-Lo gets everything that she has for free.
Yeah.
Designers want to dress her because of her name, because she's famous.
Exactly.
So all the Gucci belts and Prada shoes and bags that she's carrying.
They're given to her.
Given.
Mm-hmm.
So like.
And I think that's the thing that people misunderstand. Now, I'm sure JLo goes and buys that stuff on
sure.
her own as well, too.
Yeah.
She has a pretty big salary for the things that she does.
She makes a lot of money. Yeah. If she shows up for like an hour, she gets like $1 million bucks. I mean, let's be real.
That doesn't happen to me in my life
Me
yet.
neither.
So,
I get $0 for showing up anywhere except for my job that I have to work at.
Right. And they cap you.
Yeah. That's all I get. Just this much. I mean, it's more like
funny.
This much, but whatever.
But no, I think that's a common misconception is that like you see all these celebrities and even the influencers right in the area. Like we have a ton of influencers here in Frisco. Dude. They're given things, guys.
Yes. And I mean, I don't mean to brag or anything. Or
I know, right?
Anything,
I'm sitting at the table with one.
But I want to get and have reached out to sponsors about monetizing this podcast, and they in exchange will provide a free good.
Heck yeah.
Like I actually just did it, ironically, plug, this is an ad, Lumen. So it's a company that tracks and monitors your metabolism or your metabolic rate, right? Yes. So you blow into it, tells you if you're burning carbs or fat. They sent me one for free because I'm an influencer, because I have over like a certain amount of Instagram followers or whatever. So in exchange for them sending me a free product, I have to write a review. I have to make a static post. I have to talk about them. I have to work in exchange for this thing.
Right.
So it's not free.
Nope.
But it's given to me still in exchange for my influence.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, what? That thing's $300.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus maybe like a subscription.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right.
That costs money. Mm-hmm. And a bunch of people have asked me about it.
Yeah. And what's your grocery bill every month? About $300?
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. What?
Yeah. So, but no, that's one of the most common things I see with my clients when I sit down with them is, I don't take the standpoint I'm going to try and drastically change somebody's lifestyle.
Right.
Because unless they're willing to do it, it's never going to work.
100%. Do you find that, okay. We need to backtrack though.
Yeah, I know.
We're getting so distracted, rabbit holes all everywhere. So you go from working at this insurance agency, and you're like, I don't want to work for the man anymore. I read these books, and then what happens?
Yeah. So then I decided to become a Big Red Insurance Company agent, which I did for a couple of years.
Selling what kind of insurance?
Like home and auto insurance.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, which is fine.
So all the things that people need.
Yeah, home and auto insurance.
Have that stuff.
I still did life, health, and some financial services stuff, but. Yeah. You guys know about the Wiley hailstorm that happened here a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, dude, Keller had a terrible hailstorm too, not that long ago.
Guess what I don't want to deal with?
That. First of all, we live in Texas. I don't want to deal with that.
No, I mean, and I liked it. I think for me, like I want to help people.
Same.
That felt like I was in a bad position with that stuff all the time.
Or like you can't.
Like I couldn't help people, right?
Exactly.
Right. Or my hands were tied because I represent the company and the client, and there's only so much you can do. Yeah. Okay, cool.
It's tough.
So then when I left that agency, I also had some personal stuff going on in my life at that time. And so when I left that agency, I was like, what do I really want to do?
Yeah.
I love personal finance.
Yeah.
That's when I made the switch and became a financial advisor.
All right. So, but at that point, and this is me just asking.
No, you're good.
At that point, were you financially able to be like, hey, I want to figure out what the F it is that I want to do with my life? Or were you like, I need to make a transition. I'm a little bit poor because I don't have a job right now. And then I want to go in this direction.
So I was a combination of both. Like I was financially okay. I actually went through a divorce.
Yeah.
And anytime anybody goes through a divorce, like it wreaks hell on your finances.
So
like
bad.
Just hello.
I was
just
so broke after my divorce.
Yeah. And so after I was going through that divorce when it was done. Yeah, it was kind of a financial disaster again.
Totally. Yeah.
But I loved talking to people about money and helping people with money.
And you were so motivated and driven. I think that's the thing that holds people back, right? From really pursuing their dreams is finances. They're like, I'm stuck in between this rock and this hard place. Like, I don't know what I want to do, but I really love doing this. But how do I make money doing this? Like, that's what sucks. And that's why I ask people a lot, like how you got to the place where you're at, because That's how I think. Again, with the limiting beliefs. Like, I'm like, well, we didn't have any money, so how do I figure out how to make money? You know?
Right. Yeah. It's scary. Like,
yeah.
So even when I left my cushy corporate job to become an agent, like that was leaving a salary and doing 100% commission.
Exactly.
Like I made a
scary,
pretty nice living there.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That you could be comfortable there.
I would have been totally comfortable there, right?
But
totally
are you comfortable
satisfied
with complacency?
Right.
Right.
All those things.
No.
Nope.
Sorry.
And I wanted to know that I could take a chance on myself and it work.
Yeah.
And so my agency was successful. I just wasn't happy there.
Yeah.
And so it was time to move on. Did the financial advisor thing. It's turned out great. I love it. At the same time, it's risk and reward. So you have to be willing to put yourself out there. Mm-hmm. But if you can't count on yourself, who can?
I know.
Like that's it.
I know.
And time again in my life, I've had to put my faith in myself and my ability to get stuff done.
And you've been able to do it.
And it's worked.
Execute every time.
Exactly.
Most times. 99%.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm perfect, right?
Nobody is.
Nobody is. I've tripped up a time or two.
For sure.
Right? Like,
but that's how you get better, right? It's tripping up, falling down, falling flat on your face, getting some scars on your knees, whatever. And then you look back and you're like, damn, I'm resilient. Look what I did.
Yes. And that's another thing I don't think we do enough of. Like, look back at your life and say, look at all the things that you have done and accomplished, right? And be proud of those things.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you leave your cushy job.
Yep.
Maybe you get married. The first marriage.
So first marriage. I was married very young. I was married at 24.
Same.
Divorced at 26.
Yep.
That was never should have happened. I was married to my high school sweetheart. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Still love him to this day. Like, he's a great person. We were better off friends.
Yeah.
Then fast forward, I didn't get remarried until I was in my 30s. And that was that was not good. So we got married. I started an agency. We moved halfway across the U.S.
Yeah.
In a calendar year.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fun. Don't do that stuff. Or if you're going to do that stuff, just make sure that person is like 100% your ride or die. Like,
yes. Yeah.
Because you cannot do it without it. I know my ex-husband and I got married. I met him when I was 23, and I had just had my first baby and placed my baby for adoption. So I had gone through that, healed from that, lost all the baby weight from that. Mm-hmm. Had a new perspective on life for sure.
Yeah.
And then I met him, and then from there, we moved 9 times in 5 years. That's a lot. He was in oil and gas.
Okay.
And if the relationship I had with Chloe's dad had been as strong as my relationship with Matt, then we would still be together.
Right.
But it just wasn't there. And I think that both of us were like, oh, we feel so good about ourselves, but we're like a little bit incomplete. You know, we have like this one little puzzle piece that's just missing. Mm-hmm. Well, this one doesn't really fit, but like I'm going to shove it in there and then I'm going to call this puzzle done, you know?
Yeah.
And then we just made it work.
We're a lot alike. We like to make things work,
covered it up. Oh my God, my therapist tells me I'm a fixer all the time. And I'm like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? She's like, you're a perfectionist, right? Yeah, maybe, whatever.
Yeah, I think, so little public service announcement. Just make sure that you've got the person that understands you and inside you for exactly who you are,
inside it out. And you don't feel like you have to put on a front like this person, whether that be a man or a woman, right? Like they love you with your makeup on, without your makeup on your bad days, on your good days. Like that is so key.
All the things.
And you'll know that. Like you'll know when that person is not interested in just you when you're winning.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Huge. And that's what I have now. And I wish I would have had that in my 20s, but you know,
same.
Live and learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell Byron all the time, I'm like, so if we would have met like, I don't know, 20 years ago, life would we'd probably have 15 babies.
I know. Yeah. Look at your baby now.
Yeah. She's pretty cute.
Yeah. I would have like 100 of those. I'd be like, bro, I'm knocked up all the time. I'm just barefoot and pregnant sitting in the kitchen. What do you want for dinner, babe? I got you. Yeah. Yeah. And so you get married again.
Yes.
And then from there, that didn't work out.
Yep. And then when I got divorced, that's when I left my agency from that marriage.
Gotcha.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And then from there, you did what as far as your career?
Yeah, I became a financial advisor. Mm-hmm. So I was with a different company first. And it was a good experience. It taught me a little bit about the industry because it's a lot different.
And you got to have the training, right? Like you got to go and do it and get whatever. And then you kind of you're like, I can do this. I'm out of here.
Yeah. So I was with 2 captive insurance companies. And then I finally came over to the independent space. And like, I just love this.
What does captive insurance company mean?
It means they can only sell their own products and services.
Oh, word.
Or that they have to lead with those products and services first.
Okay, cool.
And so I left that environment and came over to the independent side of the house, and I'll be here forever.
Sweet.
Yeah, I love it.
So for those people who are listening to, obviously this episode is about money, but what does a financial advisor do and why do you like it?
So great question. It's kind of a loaded question, so I'm going to break it down a little bit. So
100%.
Different financial advisors will specialize in different things.
Okay.
But essentially, they can help people with their money, whether they're $1 million in debt or have several $1 billion in the bank.
$1 million in debt, bro.
Hey, I've seen it before.
You've seen that before?
Yeah, it's depressing.
That's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming, yeah. And that's where the financial advisor comes in. Like,
Yeah.
it's overwhelming for somebody, but you got to talk to somebody to help get you out of that. Like, you got to make a plan to
You
get out of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tell everybody I can help them if they're way far in debt and move forward from there, or if you already have money and you're ready to move forward and build wealth a little bit more. So in the book, there's the 7 money milestones.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the same milestones I follow with every single client. It is give you a financial education. And if you're not working with an advisor that's telling you what financial literacy is,
Yes.
that's a big red flag. Like,
Huge.
don't let them keep it a secret from you,
Right.
because you need these tools.
Yes. Well, and it's your money, man. You should feel empowered to be making these decisions.
Exactly.
And if you're not educated, you can't be empowered.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah.
So then from there, it's proper protection, debt management, cash flow, all the things, right? There's 7 steps.
Proper protection. What does that mean? Protecting your money?
Yes. Protecting yourself, your income, all those things. So
like
life insurance.
insuring yourself.
Yeah. Life
Got it.
insurance, disability insurance, all those things.
So let's talk about that because Matt has a lot of questions around life insurance, disability insurance, etc.
Okay.
So outside of maybe what his work provides.
Yeah.
Why is it important for you to have supplemental life insurance? And disability insurance, right? Like, because your work covers like 60%, I think.
Yeah. It depends
Depending on your organization. Right.
Yeah. So why is life insurance important? It is Life Insurance Awareness Month too. Just so you know, like, that's pretty awesome.
This is why we're doing this episode.
Right? Hello. Okay. So a lot of people will tell me, oh, I have life insurance at work. That's awesome.
Right.
You should take as much group life insurance through work that you can possibly get your hands on.
That they'll give you, right?
Yes.
Take full advantage of everything that they're offering.
And if they offer you to buy more,
Buy more.
buy more.
Okay.
Buy all of it.
Okay.
Because that's the cheapest form of life insurance that's out there in the marketplace.
Okay.
The
Because
rate-
it's cheaper for them to buy a bulk.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Yep. And the other thing is, it doesn't go with you. Like, if you leave that
From
job,
your job. Got it.
you can't take it with you.
Right.
So it's a great way to get insurance,
Mm-hmm.
especially for those people out there that can't qualify for life insurance on their own. It's a great way to make sure that you have a plan in place. But it shouldn't be the end all be all.
The people who can't qualify for life insurance are those
Mm-hmm.
with pre-existing conditions, or maybe they're too old, or what?
various reasons.
Okay.
I mean, like drugs is a big one. If you're on too many prescription drugs, or you take illegal drugs, do illegal drugs, anything like that.
Okay.
It just depends too on the carrier. There's high risk carriers that will take
Whomever.
all those too.
Yeah, my dad recently passed, and I'm pretty sure he had a high risk carrier because he had terminal cancer.
Yeah.
So whoever he went through, he had to pay probably through the nose for the premiums
Right.
but he didn't want to leave his children with nothing.
Right.
Right.
Or have them do a GoFundMe page, right? Yeah.
To pay for his funeral?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's all different kinds of life insurance, right? But if you can buy group life insurance through work, buy as much as you possibly can.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. That should be the first thing. The second thing is you should own a policy on your own, for the reason that if you were to ever lose your job or walk away from it, what happens with your family? Like, you're leaving them completely unprotected then.
Yeah.
Right? So that's a big thing, especially with small children. Like, anybody with kids under 18, like, you want to make sure that you have enough money in life insurance that if something happens, the person that's going to pick up the pieces for you and take care of your children can actually afford to take care of them.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Like if there was a freak accident and then your kids were left to someone else and...
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because that costs money.
It does.
Raising kids costs money.
Just a little bit.
A lot of money.
Like Amazon every other day.
All the money.
All the money. It's funny. Like basketball, right? Like, oh, we're playing basketball this fall. Okay, cool. It's another $250. Awesome.
Yeah. Plus you got to buy shoes and socks
outfits,
and whatever and gas, driving back and forth to practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's expensive.
Kids cost money.
I know, man.
Yeah.
Especially daycare. Oh my God.
So let's talk about that for a second, because I think people also have a misconception about that. I think that you need to understand that a lump sum life insurance policy, it should cover a lot of debt or anything like that you have, like mortgage, basic things like that, right?
Right.
But the other thing that people miss is you want to be able to have your spouse, significant other, whomever, stick that money in the bank and draw off of it.
And be taken care of. Like,
Right.
Right.
Right. But when you think about your income, let's say you make $100,000 a year,
Okay.
$1 million in the bank, drawing at 5% will give you $50,000 a year.
Right.
So
But
you're
the
going to live
lifestyle
off
that you live right now
was $100,000 lifestyle, right? So people don't understand that a lot. And
No.
so a lot of the education that we do is around making sure that you understand how we're coming up with this number for you.
Okay. That's the thing that like when we talk about retirement and how much money we should have to retire, because his 100%, his end goal is retirement.
Yeah.
He's so overworking and
Yeah.
he's 37. Like,
Me too. No.
bro, we got time. You know what I mean? Like, we got time. You're going to be putting in some hours. But he's like, I want to retire as early as possible, but I want to make my money work for me, and I want to have the most money that I can possibly save. That's why he's so, like, I don't want to say cheap, frugal. Conservative with spending. We'll say that. But he was like, I think we need $1 million per 10 years. That's what he said.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's what you need is $1 million per 10 years. I'm like, holy shit, that's so much money. Like, how do we get all that money? How do we make all that money? That's overwhelming. But
That's a pretty good thing. I've not heard anybody say that before, but that's really good. I mean, it's a personal number, that's for sure.
totally.
Right?
And it's like you have to take into consideration like why you spend the money the way you do right now, right?
Exactly.
Like, you're commuting, so you have to pay for gas and tolls. When you're retired, you're not driving every single day. Like, you're not spending that money, but you also have to take into consideration we have a child, so like we have to spend money on that. So that's going to cost more money. And granted, we do want to have fun money and spend money, but by that time, hoping and praying, knocking on wood, our house is paid for. We don't have car payments.
Yes.
We don't have those things. So we are able to save a lot more because we spend less, but I don't want it to be like we're retired, but also we're strapped.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. So
we see that too often, for sure.
yeah. Or like people who still have to work after retirement because they can't afford to not work.
Yeah. And so what I would say is if you have fears about money and what retirement's going to look like to you, talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Because yeah, you can sit there and spin your wheels all you want, but you're going to come up with the same ideas that you've had all along.
Totally. And you can watch YouTube all you want, but you'll get conflicting views from so many different people on what they think you should do. Just like you said about Rich Dad, Poor Dad versus Dave Ramsey.
Yeah.
I was about to say Bill Ramsey. Dave Ramsey. So it's like, okay, which one is it, right? Like, which approach is it? Who's got the better ideas? And this is something that I think about when I'm driving a lot, because I drive everywhere. Because we live in North Fort Worth. So it took me an hour to get here.
Oh,
and
my
I was
goodness.
Yeah. Totally.
I knew that you were in Fort Worth. I guess I didn't put
totally
that
worth
together.
the drive, though.
Yeah.
100%.
I love Fort Worth.
Yeah. And it's like, my daughter goes to school in Keller. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's such a nice area. Like, it's all good. It's just far from everything. Like, I used to live here. I used to live right up the street.
Yes.
So I'm like, this used to be my home. I used to love it. But it's like all the things that we have to think about for retirement and savings and everything else. Like, I don't even, it's hard to even think about how big of a picture that is. Like, what? And I think that's what trips people up too.
Yeah, they get overwhelmed by it.
And again, it's emotional.
It is.
And it's not like your grandparents were sitting around the table talking about how much bills they have and what their monthly budget is and how much money they don't have or they do have. And then your parents didn't do that either. So then it's like, oh, we're supposed to save for retirement on top of everything else, on top of buying Gucci belts? How am I going to save for retirement when I got to buy a Gucci belt?
Right.
And go to Bora Bora
So I think that's a
when
big...
I'm 30.
You hit on something pretty big there. Who taught you about money?
Nobody.
Right.
And monkey see, monkey do. That's what I'm learning with my kid. Is like, she's going to do what we do.
Right.
So when we have healthy conversations about money, she's going to be able to have healthy conversations about money. Now, that's probably going to bother some people. It's going to make them uncomfortable, but that's okay because it's not their life.
Right.
Like, I'm okay with talking about money everywhere, but I'm very much an extrovert, and I really don't, it sounds bad, but I don't give a shit what other people think about what I do, you know? A lot of other people don't feel like that.
Right.
Like yesterday, I'm on the phone with customer service, and Matt's like, that customer service person knows that you're muting them. I don't give a I don't care.
Okay.
What do I care? It's fine. She can know that. It's okay. He's like, are you sure? Like, she knows that you're muting her and you're talking to someone outside of this. And I'm like, okay, I don't care. But people actually think like that.
Yeah, they do.
And that's why people don't talk about money with their family members. And I've gotten to the point now where, like, I'll ask my grandfather. I think he has, like, probably $500,000 in the bank. And he's got it in his, what's it called? Edward Jones. That's who he goes through. And he's like, I got that in my Edward Jones account. That's where I keep my money. It's where I do this, whatever. And he's got like bank accounts where he's got, some other thousands of dollars or whatever. But that's it. His house is paid for. His cars are paid for. He has no debts. Like outside of that, he's got his Edward Jones money and he's good.
Yep.
He's still very frugal.
Yeah.
He still shops at Walmart. But did he tell me about that when I was graduating high school?
No.
Did my mom tell me that when I was graduating high school? Anybody else tell me that when I was graduating high school?
Did they teach you that in high school?
No. Did they teach you that in college? No. Like, why is it?
Like, I have an accounting and computer science degree.
What'd you learn about?
I never took a personal finance course. Hello. I can tell any organization how to run their money, but I can't do my own because of college.
It's so relevant in so many other areas too.
Yeah.
What do we know about taking care of ourselves from school?
Oh, I just thought I could go down to the cafeteria and eat donuts and ho-hos, right?
Forever. Like, I'm buying the whole box of ho-hos. Me and a gallon of milk. We're going to town.
Yes.
That's what my mom did when she was pregnant with me. That's why I gained so much weight with Chloe. Because it was like, again, monkey see, monkey do. Like, we just assumed that because everybody else has done it this way, we're just going to do it this way and it'll all just figure itself out.
Yeah.
That's absolutely not true. So, okay. Other steps. You said protect yourself, right?
Yeah, protect yourself. And so in that, there's all kinds of things in there.
Totally.
The next one would be like managing your, let's just look. It's on, because
make it happen. This is an interactive guide.
It is an interactive guide.
Through. It's actually really cute. I don't know if people
so
can
this is
see.
a book. It is
the 7 money milestones. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
So
it's on page 75.
And I'm like, hello, I can't even think right because I've never done a podcast before.
Oh my God, you're doing so great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I do these all the time.
Yes. On page 75 and 76 in the book. Perfect. Proper protection, then emergency fund. So emergency fund, let's talk about that.
Oh yeah. How much money do you really need for real, man? For real.
3 to 6 months.
Cash just sitting in the bank?
Yes.
But it's not making any money.
So that's why it's called an emergency fund.
Okay.
Because you need to put your hands on it tomorrow.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, if 3 to 6 months worth of expenses for you is $100,000, do not keep $100,000 in a checking or savings account.
All right.
Okay. We'll talk about that. Like, there's other options for that.
Okay.
But like, if
that's a lot of expenses. Like, you're expensive.
Yeah. So
some people are. I can't conceptualize that. I'm still working on it. Okay.
But like, I would say most people that I encounter, their monthly bills are somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000.
Okay, so we're talking about like having 15 to 20K in the bank.
Right. We're not talking about having 25 plus. If you're 25 plus, hanging out, chilling in a checking or savings account, you need to talk to somebody about that.
Got it.
Because that's too much cash to just be chilling in a...
And not making you any money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to be put to work for you. So I'm going to say a big fact about that right now. So it's a rule that we teach everybody called the Rule of 72.
Okay.
Okay. It's a mental math shortcut, so you got to be good at math.
Working on it.
Or have a calculator.
I have that. All the time.
All the time on your phone, right? Okay, you just swipe down.
Yeah, easy.
All right, so you take the number 72 and you divide it by the interest rate that you're earning.
Yeah.
And that will give you how many years it's going to take your money to double in that investment.
Ew. So in your savings account's literally like 1,000 years.
Yeah, so I bank with Chase. They have the worst savings rate ever.
What is it?
So it's 0.01, which means I take 72 divided by 0.01%.
How many years? Was 720 years?
7,200.
That's too long.
I'm not going to live that long.
I don't have time for that.
I don't have time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. So that's why you only keep your emergency fund in that account.
Got it.
Okay.
And we're thinking like, again, take your monthly expenses. Because my thing is like, when you say monthly expenses, well, first of all, I don't do the budget. So I'm like, well, shit, what is that, like 30,000, 40,000, 50,000? I don't know. How much money do we need? And I'm a very like practical / pragmatic person. But like when it comes to money, again, it's emotional. And I'm really working on trying to be more diligent about what it actually means, how much we're actually spending every month. But I'm like, tell me the number. Tell me the number that we need. And then we're good. And then whatever else, we'll just put that somewhere else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay, whatever.
So many people don't know the number, though.
I don't.
So
I don't know. My husband knows. I don't know.
So if you don't know what your number is, go to Microsoft Excel and Google personal monthly budget.
Well, I mean,
and just write them out. Or even just write them out on a piece of paper.
I need to do it.
Or just write them out on a piece of paper.
100%.
But you should have a grasp of what your monthly expenses are.
I mean, I will say, when we were saving for the house, our monthly expenses did not exceed $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
Now, since we've bought the house,
different story. You got a mortgage.
Buy stuff.
Right.
And we have a mortgage, which is exponentially higher than our rent was. It's gone up.
Yeah.
Probably by a couple thousand.
Yep.
So we don't exceed $10,000 a month.
Right.
But still.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. I don't know what the number is. It could probably be tighter too. Just saying.
So my rule of thumb is 3 to 6 months. I think most financial gurus out there will tell you that number, 3 to 6 months, should be liquid and really close at hand for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Then from there, it's get out of debt management.
All right.
So not all debt is bad. I want everybody to hear me say that.
Please.
Not all debt is bad.
How bad are student loans?
So most likely your student loan got you the job that you have today.
No, but okay.
Well, you got a piece of paper that causes your value to go up in the marketplace, right? So I don't believe that student loan debt is bad.
Okay.
It's bad when you don't pay it.
For sure. When you default and you're grounded.
Exactly.
And your credit's in the trash.
It's when it's excessive, it's bad, right?
I have $20,000 in student loans.
That's not excessive.
Okay.
No, it's not excessive.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't take your whole lifetime to pay your student loans off.
To my husband, it's the end of the world.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Like, I can't go to 7-Eleven and spend $3. He's like, you have student loans to pay off. I'm like, damn, dude. Okay, I got it.
I love Matt. I need to meet Matt.
You need to meet Matt. Everybody needs to meet Matt. I'm trying to get him to come on the podcast so everybody can meet him. He's like the
He's super shy, isn't he?
He's the antisocial, oh yeah. I can't.
That's awesome.
But I love him. He is my person, 100%. But we're the complete opposite. Which is great because it works out. Like, he doesn't want to talk to people on the customer service. I'm like, hey, what's up?
Right.
What's going on? How you doing? Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how most households are. There's usually one person that's diligent about money and one that's not.
Yes.
And if you're both not diligent about money, you definitely need to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. That was my first marriage. Bad.
But yeah, I think that's the message I would tell everybody. All debt is not bad debt.
Okay.
All debt is bad when you don't pay your bills.
What else is not bad debt? Like a mortgage?
Mortgage is not bad debt.
Okay. Mm-mm. Is credit card debt bad?
When there's a lot of it or when you're not making payments, things like that.
Okay.
So here's the thing. As long as you make your minimum payments every month, you're good with your credit.
Okay.
Okay. But now if your balances are really high.
And you're only making minimum payments.
Okay, now we got a problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because 1 month of you not doing something or 1 month going in the wrong direction.
Or you lose your job.
Yeah. Now you're big time in trouble.
So in your opinion, would you say that it's more important to continue making minimum payments and keep your 6-month emergency fund liquid? And let's say you have $10,000 in the bank. Mm-hmm. That's your savings, right? But you have $10,000 worth of credit card debt. Mm-hmm. In your opinion, it makes more sense to continue paying the minimum payment on this credit card than it is to take that cash and pay off your credit card? Depending on the rest of your debt, maybe?
Yeah, what the rest of the picture looks like, but under no circumstance should you take all of your emergency fund to pay off debt.
Got it.
Because, okay, so today I went and paid off my credit cards and everything, and tomorrow I'm going to blow my tire out in my car.
What are you going to pay with that? With a credit card or something? Yeah.
Right.
You're going to go back and use the credit card again?
Don't get in that situation.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. I also think that people don't use their emergency fund for emergencies. Like, I have to coach people a lot on that.
Yeah. Like, hey, man, you have that money in the bank. You should probably use it.
Right. Like, I had a client once call me, hey, my air conditioner went out. I'm going to put this on the credit card. And I'm like, no. Like, we have an emergency fund.
Right. For that.
That's what that's for.
This is an emergency.
Yeah, but I like seeing that number in the bank. I know. We'll build it back.
Again, we'll build it back. Emotions.
No, right?
I like seeing that.
I like that security.
It makes me feel good.
That's what it's like a warm hug.
Okay?
It is like a warm hug.
Okay, Olaf? It's like a warm hug, and I like those.
Yeah, but that's what that's there for, is for an emergency. When your air conditioner goes out, that's an emergency in Texas.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We can't survive there.
And when your heat goes out, that is also an emergency.
We also die. Oh, my gosh. Last year, this fucking snowpocalypse.
Snowmageddon.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So all debt's not bad debt when used properly.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
utilized properly.
Utilized property. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So what's next?
So then next we go to cash flow.
All right.
Okay. Probably some of the hardest conversations I have.
How much money do you make? How much money do you have?
Oh, yeah. So first of all, every single person I work with, I'm like, just so you know, we're going to be friends after this because I'm literally going to undress you financially.
Mm-hmm.
Like
all I have to do is look at you and I can see you naked. Okay. Because I see all your money.
I know what it all looks like now, right?
I know everything about you.
I know everything about you and all your dirty little secrets now. No, but
and how much you spend on monthly subscriptions every month.
Yes. Yes. But that is the most uncomfortable conversation is, so the way that my process works, I sit down with people and I do what's called a Let's Connect meeting and we talk for 20 or 30 minutes and I figure out, is this going to work between the two of us? Like,
yes.
Do you know, like, and trust me? Am I going to know, like, and trust you?
Right.
Can we move
forward? Are you going to dodge my calls because you made an irresponsible decision, an irresponsible purchase, and then you're just going to ghost me now?
Right. Or if you just flat out don't like me because, like, you're best friends with my ex-husband or something, like, it's probably not a good match,
probably
right?
Not going to work.
But what
Love him.
The next
probably
meeting,
not gonna work.
The next meeting is that financial discovery that every financial advisor does.
Okay.
And that is
a deep dive into your finances.
I need to know what you look like.
All right.
Before I can figure out where we're going to go from here.
I need to see you naked before we can move forward.
Exactly. Just like your personal trainer.
It's 100%. So it's money and your body.
Fitness, finance,
it's
all
100% like intertwined, right?
It is.
Like, my personal trainer's like, yeah, you need to send, well, when I had one, he's like, yeah, you need to send me progress pictures in your underwear. And I'm like, damn, but I ate a whole cake yesterday. How am I supposed to do that?
That's why.
He's like, why did your weight jump 8 pounds? I don't know, man.
I have no idea.
I don't know. It's weird.
I eat so good all the time.
So crazy. I track everything, every bite, except for the ones I don't.
Except that giant piece of frosting that I ate.
Oh my God. I would eat the whole tub. Are you kidding? Just with my fingers. Delicious.
Yeah, so I tell everybody that's the most painful part of the conversation that we're going to have. It's not painful. I promise I'm going to make you laugh through it too.
And also, like, I think the biggest thing that the biggest hang up is the judgment. I'm so concerned that you as a stranger are going to judge me by my financial decisions, that you're going to somehow shame me.
Right.
Because I spend $50 a month on Netflix, Hulu, HBO, and whatever else.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
and so here's what a financial advisor thinks about when they are sitting down with somebody and they're telling them all the things. First of all, it's impossible for me to judge you because 5 minutes after our meeting, I can't remember your numbers.
Right. Because you're talking to so many different people. You're like,
I have a couple other clients.
It's in and out.
Right. It's like, I just need the numbers.
I have the
notes.
notes.
So then when I sit down and I do my analysis,
so when I
know what I'm working with here.
Yes, exactly.
So it's less about judgment and it's just more about, I need this to help you in the right way, shape, or form.
Yeah. And also I'm here to help you, not judge you.
Right.
If I got paid for judging, I'd be a millionaire.
Yeah. The other thing too is like, it's not uncommon for me to sit down with a couple and for them to tell me, oh, this is my mortgage. And the next set of questions, who's your mortgage with? What's the interest rate? And what's your minimum payment? Mm-hmm. You find out so much about people there. Like, okay, like I was working with somebody the other day, their interest rate on their mortgage is 7%. I'm like, why are we not refinancing? Oh, I didn't think about doing that. Okay, cool. I probably just saved you a couple $100 a month.
Literally.
Like,
and like a few points on your interest rate.
Right. Or you could refinance and reduce your mortgage. Like, that's the reason that you work with a professional.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to see things that you on the surface don't see or even think to think about.
Yes.
Right.
Because this is what you do every day.
That's what I do every day.
Right.
Yeah.
And they're like, we just pay our bills.
Yes.
We just pay our bills every month. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's that.
Me
So
too,
when you talk about increasing cash flow, things like finding that interest rate that's too high or, finding, I'm trying to think of some other things.
Well, credit cards too, because some people have credit cards that have accounts that have interest rates that are through the roof and they're still using them or carrying a balance. And you're like, why would you carry a balance on that when you could just transfer it to a zero balance or a much lower interest rate credit card, whatever, right?
Yeah. And if somebody has serious credit card things going on, I will help them come up with a plan to pay it down or pay it off or reduce it or whatever it is that we need to do there. But again, part of that is just understanding what everything is so that we can fix it for you.
Yeah.
Right?
So what else is on the list?
Yeah. So after that, it's build wealth.
Okay.
Which that's, like you said, that you guys had just recently bought some stock, right? Like,
oh yeah, he's been all into it since the pandemic.
So it's putting yourself in a position to build wealth over time.
So there's build wealth, and then what's the next one? Okay, protect wealth.
Protect
okay.
wealth. Mm-hmm.
So sorry. Ooh.
throw it around.
Ridiculous. Calm down. No, I don't want to build any money. No. So build wealth. In your personal opinion, do you think that it's, and this is a very broad question, right? Do you think that it's smarter to invest in real estate or the stock market? Or do you think they're both a risk?
Great question.
Okay.
Really great question. It depends on the person.
Okay.
So my answer, like, I'm not trying to dodge your questions, right? The answer is always it depends on the person.
Sure.
Because if I've got somebody in front of me that like has heart palpitations when I say the word stock market.
Yeah. This is going to give them extreme anxiety. It's not going to work for them. But when you look at a property and investing your money in a property that's tangible, right? You can see it. Mm-hmm. You can fix it up,
right?
Rent it out, get passive income every month when that mortgage is paid on that property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it depends on the person largely. But then like real estate right now, I always say everybody's house is kind of like, it's just a secure piece of property. Like it's a way to make sure that you have wealth that's not going to move. It's kind of like a bond or a CD. Yeah. Like it's okay. Now, if you bought your house 3 years ago to now in Frisco, like, okay, you got super lucky. That's awesome.
Or 10 years ago.
That's not.
I'm giving you the middle finger right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not typical, right?
No.
The increase in property values
right now.
Exactly.
Yeah. This is not typical. Constant. This is not going to happen like this all the time.
Right. So if you're looking to get into real estate, like, okay, there's a way to do that. That time is not right now, most likely, because it is like we want to buy low, sell high.
Right now, you'd be buying high and selling average. Buy high, sell high. So I made $2.
Right. So you have to look at somebody's overall portfolio. If somebody says to me, I want to start investing in real estate, and they don't have a broad portfolio already, probably not the greatest next move.
Broad portfolio meaning what?
Different things inside of it.
Okay.
So this is the point where I struggle talking on podcasts and things about personal finance because I am securities licensed. Okay. And without the proper disclaimers, I can't say certain things.
Okay, got it. So you don't have to say anything. So let's say we'll use us as an example. We have some money in stock. We have some cash, and we're thinking about the biggest, like the next step, right? Matt was like, well, maybe we should invest some more in the stock market. And I am of the opposite. I'm like, well, what if I have a friend who does this actually. I think his Instagram is Fix and Flip Dallas. Okay. And a friend of mine invests in his company, and they go in together. They pool their money. They buy these properties. They fix them up. Then they flip them. Yeah. Or they rent them out or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, well, what if we got into something like that? Like, why wouldn't we do that? But in our case, in Matt's case, okay, because I'm brand new to this situation, he has a large amount of money in his 401k. He has a large amount of money in the stock market. He has no debt, so no car payment, no nothing. I'm the only person that has debt. I have a student loan, but even my car, I don't have a car payment on. Good. So all the money that we bring in the month or our combined
cash flow,
salary, whatever. What do they call that? Incoming income or whatever. Our income is goes to the mortgage, to our utilities, and my student loans. My student loans. Oh my God, it's another world. But it's like, that's what I'm thinking about is, and the funny thing is, we were talking before the podcast, like you were saying that when you and your husband Byron go through the grocery store, what did you call it? You said we do the...
Yeah, I'm good at math.
Yeah, I'm too good at math to buy this. Like, I'm too good at math to buy...
My math wouldn't let me buy that.
Impulse buys, right? Yeah. At the fridge when you're at the checkout line or you see the candy or whatever, and it's like, that's an impulse buy, but I could buy 5 times that much on that aisle over there.
Right.
It's just not cold already.
Or like you talked about, like buying a pack of chicken at the name brand grocery store versus going to...
Girl, whole paycheck?
Yeah.
You better get out of here. You better get out of here with your air-chilled chicken for $8 a pound. I cannot do you.
No.
But I used to be that person. Yeah. And I think that's the other thing, too, that I'm so grateful for, which Matt doesn't watch my podcast, which is great because I can say whatever I want. But he has taught me so much about money. Like about... going to the store and buying the impulse buys. That's why he gets so upset because he's like, you nickel and dime.
You spent $3 at 7-Eleven.
He's like, you nickel and dime yourself with your diet the same way you nickel and dime yourself with your money.
100%.
And I'm like, damn it, bro. Why you always got to be right all the time?
So I can pretty much, like this this is totally off topic, but I will say this. I can look at somebody's budget and I can tell you whether they're a healthy lifestyle or not. 100%.
From their financial budget.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's crazy. Like, I could never have seen the people in person because I help my team members with their cases too.
Totally, yeah.
Right? I can have never seen the person, and I know what I'm walking into when I look at their budget.
Wow.
100%.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it because they spend money on like fast food or just irresponsible financial decisions?
All the above.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, no judging.
There is no
We're
judgment.
not judging here.
There is no judgment. Like, I think that's the other thing.
Calling a spade a spade.
Calling a spade a spade. And do I wish that I could teach people how to?
Yeah.
Right?
That's what I was going to ask. So like we talked about building wealth and then protect wealth.
Yeah. Protect wealth is making sure that you have a will, power of attorney, a trust, any of those things in place that you need. Not everybody needs a trust. So I think everybody needs to hear that loud and clear.
Not every kid needs to be a trust fund baby, is that what you're saying?
That's right. Not everybody. Well, every kid should be, but you know.
How do we create grit?
Yeah.
How do we do that?
But I would say that everybody does need a will.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
Matt and I have talked about that. We need to get one.
If you've ever had to go through the process of probate, it's a nightmare.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Like, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy's family.
And it's funny because I actually lost my grandmother and my dad this year.
Yes.
And my grandmother had everything taken care of.
Yeah.
Which she was the epitome of make every penny work for you.
She lived through the Depression.
Exactly. Yeah. God, she was a sage. Grandma, if you can hear this, I love you.
My grandma
I miss you so
way.
much. Like, I miss you so much. I would just sit there and just talk to her and have the most practical conversations with her, and I just miss her so much because she was like the most level-headed sounding board that I had in my life. When I had my first baby, I lived with her. Okay. And she was like, I completely support you in your decision to place this baby for adoption. She's like, without adoption, I wouldn't have your mom. She's like, and just everything she did was just like so reasonable and practical and smart. Like, but yeah, she lived through the Depression.
Yeah.
And her father was German. So while World War II was going on, it was like living in hell, basically, for her. So she had a very rough life, but she came out so much better on the other side.
I think the event in our lifetime, events plural that are going to lead to this in our lifetime are, of course, everything that happened right after 9/11.
Yeah.
The housing crash in 2008 and then this pandemic. Like, all these things are going to cause people to really examine their finances a little bit more.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the 7,000 questions I have for you. But do you think that going through COVID and people being at home has changed and shifted their perspective on their money? Like, to where they're like, okay, are we really making the right decisions? Are we really doing the right thing? Are we really, all this extra spending that we've been doing while we're leaving the house to go to work and we're going out to lunches or we're stopping at the gas station on our way or we're doing this or we're doing that or we're planning these trips or whatever. Are we really making the best financial decisions that we can for ourselves? Because I know that Matt and I, while we were dating, we had to decide, like, during COVID, if we were going to stay together. So we're like, well, I guess we're in this. So let's go. 2 feet jumping in. And when I met, and like I said, I use my life as an example in this podcast. I don't care.
That's okay.
My credit was like at a high 5, which was awful. All my credit cards were maxed. I had student loans that I defaulted on. I didn't pay my student loans.
Yep.
And
that's when they're bad for you.
I'm like, what else? What else? What other terrible financial decisions did I make? But again, I saw what I saw and I did what I saw.
Yes.
So like, I didn't know you're not supposed to do that. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I just knew that I had money and I had money to pay my bills, and that was about it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I was the same way growing up. Like, my mom had major credit card debt.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know that people didn't get overdraft charges from their banks.
Oh, you didn't know that either?
I didn't know that.
I paid them every month.
Not
as I got older, but when I was younger, holy shit, I made, who was it? Washington Mutual. I probably paid all of those managers' bonuses with my overdraft fees.
Yeah.
So stupid.
But nobody ever taught my mom, right? She didn't know, right? And so here she is, single mom, trying to make it work, and you got to make choices.
Yes. And
right?
that's what I was going to ask you.
So those are the behaviors that you learn.
Yes. And I was going to ask you, like, what are some practical things that you tell people who really are trying to do better, but they don't know where to start?
Yeah.
Like, for me, I will say it was Matt teaching me to buy shit in bulk. But then it's like, okay, but where do I get the money to buy things in bulk?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like the chicken or the egg. Which one came first? I don't know.
How do you do this?
I like buying these, but these are $3 at the gas station. Yeah, but if I buy them at Sam's, they're $1.29. Okay, but where do I get the $36 to buy the case for $1.29? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so I understand the struggle. And I know that some people are definitely still in that struggle, and it's a cycle, right?
Yes.
It's cyclical. You can't do shit about it.
It is. So I'm going to go back to your other question first. Yeah, the pandemic definitely has impacted people, and I'm glad that people are looking at their finances a little bit more carefully now. I still think you're going to have people that are they're not willing to change.
I don't understand anybody who could pay for Grubhub, though, bro. Those delivery charges are so expensive. You're paying $27 for Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. So the first place I always start when we talk about cash flow, changing your lifestyle, all those things, is subscriptions.
That's so funny because I've mentioned it like 4 times in this episode.
You have. Is subscriptions.
And I was so bad. I had a Fabletics subscription, which was like $50 a month. I had Netflix. What else did I have? I had
the gym.
I had multiple gym memberships, girl. I thought I was big ballin'. I had 3 gym memberships.
When there was one time I sent you a text and you're like, oh, I can meet you at that gym. I have a membership there. I was like, wait, what?
You're like, bitch, how many memberships do you got?
Why do you have so many gym memberships?
See? Told you. Irresponsible.
But no, subscriptions. And it can be anything like I do book of the month subscription, or like
I had Audible.
Some women do the
FabFitFun Box.
FabFitFun Box, all the boxes.
Yeah.
The dog boxes,
makeup,
everything,
Ipsy,
right?
all of it.
Stop
Sephora.
Stop those.
Yeah. That's the first thing Matt made me do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where I start with those conversations. And okay, like.
And also, do you really need and use all of that shit every month? Do you?
I don't.
Question mark. Like, I didn't.
Right.
Granted, and it's funny that you mentioned, I love that this conversation is all over the place.
It is.
It's funny that you mentioned I can tell if someone has a healthy lifestyle by their spending, because while I had 3 gym memberships, I ate super clean, I was still so full of inflammation from stress and from anxiety around money.
Stress, anxiety.
That I was holding on to like 10 or 15 pounds, sometimes 20 pounds just from stress.
Yes.
I was a single mom, and I worked a very high stress job.
Yes.
And it was like all of these things combined, but it's like, wait a minute, you have 3 gym memberships, you work out all the time. The gym is your outlet, that's your fun, but you're still holding on to that weight? Yeah, because like you have to have all around health.
Yes.
You have to have financial health. You have to have emotional health. You have to have all these things, not just physical health. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was funny.
But yeah, that's where I would start, is subscriptions, because that's the easiest thing to cut out.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's an extra.
It is. It's an
a
extra.
want.
It's a bonus.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing to have. Now, okay, maybe there's something that like you're not willing to compromise on.
Sure.
Okay.
But you get one.
You get like
2.
1 or 2 tops.
Right.
Because if you compromise on everything, we're not going to make changes here.
No. You're going to be like, I'm ghosting you and I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for somebody that wants a lifestyle change like that and they want me to help them drive it, we're going to meet pretty frequently until you like are in the mindset of going there. So the first place is subscriptions. The next place I go is, y'all, I know you love your pets. I know people love their pets, but like Fido doesn't need that jersey.
What are you talking about? Lucy needs all of the Christmas sweaters.
Right.
I'm buying all of them.
Right.
I'm really not.
So that's the next place.
I haven't bought anything for her.
And if they don't have pets, then we go to, I can look at how much you're spending on eating out versus the grocery bill.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Eat at home.
You tell people to make their own coffee. Stop going to Starbucks.
Dude. Like we brag about it in our house.
It's so funny because
like I pay 24 cents a cup.
I know.
For coffee.
For sure.
And like.
And I even buy like fancy coffee.
Our friends over at Ice Shaker can get you a nice one of these things and your coffee stays hot all day.
I feel like, are they local?
Yeah, they are.
They are local, right?
Chris Gronkowski, local Ice Shaker.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gronk's brother.
That's right.
He's local? Like he's here? That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. He was on one of our team motivational webinars and after that I have like 10 of these things.
Perfect. So you just drink your water out of there?
Yeah.
Is it insulated? It's insulated?
It's insulated. And this is my little Bubba straw.
It can also be a shaker though.
Yeah.
That's
and
the benefit
like the
of
cool
it.
thing is
Chris Gronkowski,
I'm totally
by the way, this
promoting
is not
your product right now.
This is not sponsored, but it might be.
But there's also an
Cheers.
attachment here where you can infuse it. Like you can put whatever you want in the top of it. It's a little basket that hangs
so you
down.
can do like your pre-workout or your protein or whatever. Seriously. Sponsored by Ice Shaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like so It's funny because I always have those big Yeti cups, which actually we had a girl on our podcast. This is so random. What time is it? I don't even care. What time do you have to leave? You have a thing at 2, right?
I have a thing at 2, yeah.
Are you going straight there from here to there?
I have to stop by home.
Okay, good. Well, it's 12:30, so if you're good, okay.
Yeah.
There was a girl that came on that owns her own med spa, so she does injections and she does fillers and Botox and all that. And she said, because I had a cup with a straw, she said, you need to try to drink out of something without a straw because you'll get wrinkles around your mouth. So I have those big Yeti cups, and I always drink all of my water out of the Yeti cup. And everywhere I go, I'm synonymous for having those damn Yeti cups. But the problem is I leave them everywhere.
Yes.
Like I forget them.
That's like an expensive cup to be leaving around, girl.
Well, and I got mine for free through work.
Perfect.
But still, that's again, I didn't pay for it, so I'm not invested.
Yes.
So I leave them everywhere. But anyway, one of them is here. That's why I brought that up. But I always carry my water everywhere I go. So I really don't stop at the gas station that much. That's why when Matt sees it on the bank account or on the credit card statement, he's like,
what?
Bro, I just spent $3 at 7-Eleven. I was like, I got a Diet Coke and a protein bar. And he's like, did you really need that? Did you have to stop there and get that? Did you have to spend that $3?
That's hilarious.
But,
he and Byron would like have man crushes on each other.
And they could talk about investing.
Oh, they totally would.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I could play with your baby.
Perfect.
Totally.
We need to make that happen.
Great. Easy.
Done.
But yeah, I think the biggest thing is like the practical moves to make for like saving money. Like one of my friends came to me the other day and she was like, I want to save money. I'm thinking about getting another job. I said, first of all, ma'am, you have a 7-year-old and a husband and a dog. Do you really have time for a second job? Who's going to manage your house? Who's going to pick up your kid? What? Stop.
Like kudos to you for not being like,
No. And I'm like, what are some things that you can do better? And I know that some people aren't willing to change their diet because some people associate buying groceries with eating healthier.
Yes.
So that means that they can't eat their fast food, or they can't eat out, or they can't have their fun food.
Right.
Which a lot of people, me included, going out to eat is fun. So it's like an outlet, even though it's like filled with sodium and also calories. That's why my face is puffy today. But it's like, I told her, I was like, you can make, Sam's Club has like very similar chicken nuggets to Chick-fil-A. And you can buy this thing in bulk. And you can buy the waffle fries too. And just get an air fryer and done. Like you can save so much money from Chick-fil-A. But
I die every time we go to Chick-fil-A. Like I'm just
so
like, it's so expensive.
So expensive. Okay. And I'll tell you.
It's fast food. And I said it's expensive.
This is our very frugal date night when we were saving for buying the house, which, mind you, and again, this is a podcast, so I'm trying to be very nice about what I say because Matt's like, you need to stop talking about money. And I'm like, no, because I want more people to talk about money.
Yes.
We had the money in the bank to put the down payment on the house, but he was also like, how much can we get? Because it really determines how much we were going to put down.
Yeah.
And we would go on our date nights, we would go to Whataburger with a buy one, get one coupon, girl.
Heck yeah, man.
And crumble cookies afterwards. And that was our date night for months. Yeah. I mean, probably 6 to 8 months.
So our fancy date night is we love to go to Seasons 52.
Oh, it's so good.
Like, it's just like, you know what you're going to get.
Yep.
Like, we pretty much know what we're going to order every time we go. But like, that's our outlet.
Yeah.
And so everybody in our family knows that. And so they buy us gift cards.
Oh,
and I have zero shame about saying that I go to Seasons and I pay with gift cards and I leave a giant tip.
No shame.
No shame.
Because that's money.
Yes.
It didn't come from me, but it's somebody's money.
Right. But that's the other thing that I think people are afraid to ask for. Like, okay, my mom, I love her. Debbie, I love you so much. As I say these words out loud. She texted me literally 2 nights ago and was like, what do you and Byron want for Christmas?
You know what
I'm like, it's September 5th.
What are you doing, Mom?
What?
Why are you Christmas shopping
Why,
right now?
Mom?
Supply chain. It's real bad right now.
So your people are going to ask you these questions. Like, what do you want for your birthday, holiday, whatever,
That
right?
is so smart. Because I love bougie restaurants, but I don't like the bougie price tag.
Right. Okay. And then here's another one. Okay. I'm totally a financial advisor. We are totally frugal with our money. Buy the gift card at Kroger, get the Kroger points.
Bro, buy it at Sam's or Costco, save $20, and I get 2 meals out of it. Like, Fogo has like, or it's either Fogo or Texas de Brazil at Sam's Club.
Yeah.
It's a $100 gift card for $75.
Yes.
You're saving $25.
Yes.
I ain't mad at it. Not even a little bit.
Not at all. Not at all. My sister and I text back and forth when we save money at the gas pump.
Yes. Especially with Kroger points.
Man, I got 40 cents off a gallon the other day.
That's what's up.
That's
I use
serious.
my grandma's number, my grandma's phone number. because they're senior citizens and they get 10 cents off a gallon plus whatever Kroger points I get. I'm trying to save all that Skrilla.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like that's going to launch us into another topic here. So I'm going to say like find the programs that you're going to use.
Okay.
Like I'm a Kroger girl.
Yeah.
Right. I'm Kroger, a little bit of Sprouts, and I love me my Chase credit card.
Yes, with the points.
For my points.
What kind of points are you getting on that card?
Okay. So I get serious points in there. I fly a lot.
Oh, okay.
My family's in Central Illinois.
Yeah.
I fly a lot.
Good.
So I use their credit card.
That's the mileage one.
Yes. All of mine are, it's a Sapphire card is the one that I have.
Got it.
Or Sapphire Reserve, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever.
But whatever. I use mine on travel.
Yeah. That's smart.
Hands down.
So we have a Bank of America card that we get 1% cash back on everything. Mm-hmm. Matt's about to get the BlockFi credit card because he wants the Bitcoin. Yeah. And then we also have American Airlines where we get our mileage. And then we have a United where we get our mileage too.
Yes.
So like, and he's again so savvy, so good at all this. Like he was like, we're gonna get this card. We have to spend this amount of money, and then after that, we don't spend on it anymore unless we have good incentives. Like we get more cash back on gas and restaurants on this certain card than we do on our Bank of America card. So we use that at the gas pump or whatever. And that's what I'm trying to teach, like, my little brother who's 25, who's trying to learn about this for the first time. He's like, well, what credit card should I get first? And I said, right now, when you're trying to establish credit, it doesn't really matter as long as you pay it off every month.
That's exactly right.
And the fear and the emotional driver behind it is like, I'm worried that I'm going to get this credit card that has this huge balance and I'm just going to spend it all.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to have to pay it off. And I'm like, remove that. Mm-hmm. Remove that expectation. If you need to start small and only put your gas on your credit card every month and you pay it off every month, it's fine.
Yep.
Eventually, when you get to the point where you can put all your utilities and all your bills on your credit card, then you pay your credit card off every month, then you know you're in a good financial spot.
Yeah. So let's talk about that real quick. Because a lot of people come to me and that's one of the main questions I have is, should I be paying all my bills on my credit card? So the answer to that is you're going to know in 30 days whether or not you should do that or not.
Yeah. Real quick. You're going to know real quick.
So if you can put all your bills on that card, awesome.
Yeah.
The real test is, can you pay the balance off every month?
Every month.
If you cannot pay the balance off every month, do not do it.
Yeah.
Like, don't even give yourself the option.
Yeah. And that's why, and he's like 25.
Right.
They live in an apartment. It's dinks.
Right.
You know, dual income, no kids.
But the moment you think, oh, I'm going to let it roll this month, you're out.
No.
Don't even try it.
That's it. That's why I told him, I was like, just start small. Put your gas on it. That's it. Pay it off every month. Add one more thing. Pay it off every month. Like, just don't get to the place where you feel like, oh my God, I just spent $10,000 in 1 month and now I have no money.
Right.
Like, how do I do this?
Right.
How does that work? So I'm trying with him and with that, but yeah.
Other thing too is start your kids early with money. Like,
100%.
So I have a bonus son. He's 15. He has his own checking account.
Okay.
That we sort of monitor for him. But more importantly, we started him with what's called a Cash App. And this is not a plug for Cash App, but we use Cash App in our household.
Twitter.
Right?
Hashtag Jack Dorsey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we use Cash App because we can control how much money we are sending to him. Mm-hmm. And we can very easily see what's going on by picking up his phone and looking at the app.
Oh, totally. You see all of the...
Everything.
Yeah.
So we did that to kind of get him used to the feeling of using a card, being responsible with it.
Which is so opposite than like how we started with money when we just had cash.
Right?
You know? Mm-hmm. Like because we carried cash.
I would carry cash and I would go like literally, I was thinking about this last night and thinking about, okay, what is she going to ask me tomorrow? Trying
Basically
to prep.
your whole life.
My whole life, right? I was thinking like when I was in high school, I had jobs throughout junior high and high school, right? Like a single mom, I had to.
40 hours a week in high school.
Right. Because if I wanted that pair of silver jeans that was $90-some a pair, guess who was buying them?
Me.
Not my mom.
Yeah. Those BKE jeans from Buckle, man.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
got way too much of my money. Jerks.
But I would go blow cash on that.
Same.
Hands down.
Oh, yeah.
All the time, right?
All the time.
Yeah.
I would go spend $200 at Buckle and I was a bartender, so I was making cash every day.
Yeah.
So then I'd be like, well, it's fine. I'll just work tomorrow and I make some more money. No, stupid. That was all your money. Why are you so dumb?
Live it. You gotta learn.
I know, man. I think the biggest thing though is that I want to teach like my daughter how to do things differently, how to do it better. Is it really that good of an investment? Is it really worth it? If it is, right? Like then you save for it.
Right.
And you have to work for it. Like she asked me all the time. So that was some things that I had to stop with her too, is that as a single mom, I felt that guilt of, she's with me most of the time. Her dad worked in oil and gas at the time. So I was overcompensating, right? We would leave the gym and I was exhausted. I did not want to cook dinner. So I would drive through a restaurant and get her dinner. I would do that more nights than I'd like to admit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it was like on the weekends, well, what are we going to do now? We got to go have fun. We got to do fun things because you're a kid and I'm your mom and whatever. I had to drop all of that.
Yep.
Matt's like, first of all, your kid is very healthy. She is not going to die. She can wait till you get home.
Yes.
To eat some food at home.
Yes.
Second of all, she doesn't need to drink everywhere she goes. And if she does, she needs to stop. She needs to bring water with her in the car, like everywhere we go. So there are little habits that I've built from knowing, hey, do we really have to stop at the gas station every single time? If you did that every day for a month, that's $30 on a bottle of water. Probably more like $45 with tax.
That just bought your bulk box at Sam's.
Exactly.
Or Costco.
That just bought your case of water, all the drinks that you want to buy, like all of that stuff. And it takes that, like, you have to get out of that mindset of the scarcity mindset that you don't have the ability to do it.
And convenience.
Yeah. Like you need
Both
it right now. You need it immediately. And I'm looking at her like, bro, a couple hours of fasting ain't going to kill you. Okay. You can wait till we get home. We're like 30 minutes from home. You're fine.
You'll be fine. Yeah. You'll be fine.
Like we're leaving Six Flags last night. And it's funny. This is how Matt's brain works. So we go there for his company Christmas party. We get 3 free tickets or whatever. Well, with the tickets comes food, right? So at the end of the night, we're all like hungry and tired. We walk like 12,000 steps or something.
Right.
And Chloe, champ, didn't complain one time.
That's awesome.
We're waiting for food at the end of the night, and we got like food and drinks. And on the way home, Chloe's like, man, Mom, I'm so thirsty. And Matt's like, yeah, you're fine. We got 35 minutes till we get home. You're good. And it's like midnight. She's exhausted. She's like, okay, all right, that's fine. Like, now last year, 2 years ago, lost her shit, complete meltdown in the car. Gotta have it right now. Mom, you need to stop at a gas station. Like, and that was like such a cool moment for me because I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm teaching my kid the delayed gratification.
Yes.
Like, work for it. Wait for it. It's okay. You will be fine. We will get water when we get home. Yeah. Like, you know?
So we're like road trip warriors too. Like we drive. Yeah.
We drove to Florida this year.
We drive places. Yeah. We drive to Illinois a lot for my family.
12 hours.
12. At least 12.
At least 12. My dad's
add an infant and it makes it 16.
Every stop, bro. Every stop. Diapers and all that.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. We don't stop for drinks. We pack a cooler.
Pack a cooler. Mm-hmm. Dude, we did it for Florida.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Like,
it's so amazing.
And on the way home, we literally had this sweet cooler. So it's funny because you were like, those cups are expensive. My company's giving me 2 Yeti tumblers, the drinks, and a big ass Arctic cooler.
Awesome.
Like the nice Yeti one. Yeah. So we pack that one full of snacks, drinks, everything. And then we have like granola bars and all that shit. Me and Matt, we were so bored the whole time. We're just eating the whole drive home.
Oh, yeah.
But we didn't stop one time for food. Mm-hmm. So all that money that we spent, let's say at Sam's and Costco, we bought bulk size like fruit snacks, applesauce, granola bars, and then we packed sandwiches and stuff before we left Florida.
Yep.
12 hours. The only thing we stopped for was gas and to pee.
Yep.
So how much money did we save just from that?
A ton.
Yeah. Like 3 meals, like probably $100.
Easily.
If we would have eaten out every meal. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
But it's really easy to sit. I will say it's really easy to sit on this side now and say that it's easy.
It's a hard
the
transition.
Shit was not easy
It
to
is
get
a hard
here.
transition.
Yeah.
So we teach Caleb why we do those things.
Yes.
So it's not just, no, we're not going to stop at Chick-fil-A and get this.
Right.
It's, hey, buddy, here's why we're going to do this. Because we can go to Chick-fil-A and we can spend this much.
Yeah.
Or we can go to Sam's and spend this much.
Yeah.
But you've got 5 servings of it or however,
Same thing.
Right?
Right.
But we explain that to him.
Right.
And I think
that's smart.
People are afraid to explain those things to
every
their kids.
Time. Like,
right? So this book is written so a 14-year-old could read, comprehend, and understand it.
Okay.
That's why it's comic book style. It's
it's
awesome.
like, it's super like, and for those people who are watching, it's like very animated and colored and illustrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
It should take an adult about an hour and 15 to read it.
It's illustrated.
But Caleb took this to school just because he was actually reading it, right?
Yeah.
And his teacher asked him for it.
Sweet.
Like, not enough kids know how money works,
Dude, we
right?
don't talk about it. Why don't we talk about it? Is that because we want ignorant adults?
Right? I sure wish somebody would have taught me.
I'm
Like, I don't know, my uncle
mic
that's a
drop.
banker, right? Like, and so just thinking about my own experience, my uncle owns a bank and didn't take the time to sit down.
A bank.
Not
so he
a
has
bank,
seen
8 banks.
8 banks. Like, he has seen wealthy people.
Yes.
He has seen
dirt poor people.
desolate people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, not even one conversation.
Not one conversation.
But I feel the same way about my papa. Like, I've had to, this is my dad's father.
Yeah.
I've had to go to him multiple times, and I have gone to him multiple times just because I literally don't care anymore. I'm just like, how did you do this? How much money how did you know when you were ready to retire? He was like, well, I was real lucky. I was double dipping. I had 2 jobs. I was getting 2 401ks, and I saved it all. That's it. I'm like, well, shit, let me find out how to do that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's very, very smart with money. He didn't teach my dad that. My dad didn't teach me that.
Yeah.
So it's like, what? It's just like, you're just going to hoard all that? You're just going to keep all those secrets and not tell anybody? Like,
so it's funny you say that. My grandma, the one that lived through the Depression, right? I used to watch her balance her checkbook.
Same.
But nobody else in my family would I watch that.
But she would just sit there quietly
and do it.
I know. And not say anything about
Nothing.
it. Well,
Not a word.
In my day, you just don't talk about that.
Right. And
we just don't talk about that.
just
I'm just
do
going
it.
to balance my checkbook and that's it. Oh, thanks, Grandma. But I will say we had candid conversations about money when I asked about it. But
Yes.
it's like, I also want it to be an open dialogue conversation for me and Chloe forever.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like you said, like, that's a really good tip is like, this is why we're not going to stop. You don't need to stop every single time you get in the car. It's funny. Somebody posted on Instagram the other day. My problem is every time I leave the house, I think I need a caffeinated beverage. I'm like, oh my God, it's my life. Like,
that's funny. My
every time I
stepdad
stop,
is the
I need
same way.
something. Like,
He's
I
like,
just need
I can't drive
something.
in the car without a 32-ounce Diet Coke. I'm like, you can.
And first of all, get a can. You're fine. Or get 2.
You'll be just fine.
Yeah, fine. Put it in a cooler. And I'll do that too. Like, if I know we're going to be out all day long, I just take my cooler, put my gallon of water in it, put an energy drink in it, or a can of, I love those damn soda waters or whatever. So good.
So good.
And $8 for 32 at Costco. But if I were to stop every time, that'd be $1 or something.
At least $1
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, oh, okay. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
And Matt just makes fun of me. He's like, you're really just going to carry a cooler around? I'm like, bro, first of all, it's hot in Texas. Okay, I'm trying to have my shit be real cold.
So the other thing I would say about that is I think there's a perceived stigma that comes with that too, right?
Like you're poor.
Like you're poor, that people are going to make fun of you or think weird things about you.
Yes.
So it's because I'm good at math.
Right. I'm too good at math.
I'm too good at math.
I'm too good at math.
I'm
to
sorry
buy
that
this.
you're a sucker.
Sorry that you're bad at math.
Exactly.
Okay, there's that one.
Yeah. So
So
people that have money, they have money for a reason.
Yeah. And people that have money for a reason, they also teach their kids good money habits
That's right.
too. Rich dad, poor dad, right?
Rich dad, poor dad. Mm-hmm.
Full circle.
Yeah.
We're going right back to
did.
it. What was I going to say?
Amazing. There's been a lot of rabbit holes, but we came back to that one.
Oh, I'm so good. Yeah. It's my favorite. This is just my favorite.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so like subscriptions, stop spending so much money on your pets.
Food.
Do you ever tell any of your clients not to pay for pet daycare?
No. Because the reason I don't is because the insurance agent in me knows if that dog stays home, that's a horrific scenario also.
Oh, that's true. They could mess some stuff up.
They could mess some stuff
They
up.
could mess some stuff up.
So like,
I messed up
okay,
my
if your
coffee
dog needs
table.
daycare, cool, whatever.
Yeah.
But you're sacrificing a lot to do that. And so just make sure that pet is adding that much value in your life, I guess. I don't really know how else to say that.
Do you have pets?
So I did have a dog.
Yeah.
And when he passed, Byron said, we're done.
Yeah.
Because it's like having a constant 5-year-old.
Oh, it's 100%.
And we
your
like to
kid.
travel.
Yes.
So.
And it's expensive to
It's
board them and all that.
expensive, yeah.
But again, Matt being who he is, he always outsources family or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't ever pay for that stuff.
Yeah.
He's just got it like that because I don't have it like that.
My family would not watch my
I don't got
pets.
it like that. Like he's got it like that. And he doesn't even really ask. He just kind of tells them that's what he's going to do. I'm like, damn, that must be nice.
That's nice.
I know. But yeah, I mean, and like he's so good at like just, well, yeah, that's why you do that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why you do. I've always done it like that. That's just why you do it. And I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
And also, like, it's okay to tell me why
So for
you do
everybody
something.
that's a pet lover out there, like, I still love pets. So please don't think that's me
Oh no,
saying
I
don't
know.
have a
I
pet.
totally get it. I think there's a new. It's like
We're never home. Like, we like to travel, and we just know that a pet doesn't work in our household right now.
Oh, for sure.
Maybe someday again it will.
Yeah. And like, I like to travel too, but like, I wish that there were more places we have to go. Both of our families are here. Everybody's here.
Yeah.
So we don't have to go anywhere.
Ours are not.
Yeah.
So
my ex-husband, his family lived in Massachusetts, so we traveled a lot too. Yeah. And we either took the 2 80-pound boxers that we had, or we boarded them.
Right.
Which is $25 to $50 a night.
Right.
Yeah. Expensive.
So then after that, now I'm looking at, okay, what are the other activities that you do in your life? Like, golf is an expensive hobby, but like, I'm not going to tell you to stop golfing ever. Like, I love golf.
Sure.
Right. But eating out is an expensive hobby. When I sit down with people, and I've literally had clients tell me they spend $800 a week eating out, we probably need to find another option.
$800 a week.
I mean,
that's a lot.
I mean, I see the spectrum, right? Like, first of all, I don't have a minimum when it comes to clients. So when somebody sits down with me, 1, I don't charge planning fees, and 2, I don't have a minimum that you have to have in the bank to sit down and talk to me.
Yeah. Which is great.
Other people do.
Yeah.
I don't. So I see the gamut of different situations and scenarios.
Yeah. Income levels, yeah.
Right. But the behaviors are the same.
Right.
It's just, when you have a bigger budget, you have bigger things. And when you have a smaller budget, you have smaller things.
When you have a bigger budget, you go to nicer restaurants.
Right. Exactly.
You spend more on Gucci belts than other people.
Right.
You're not going to Nordstrom Rack, you're going to Neiman's. All right. Got it. Yeah.
But those are like practical money things, I would say. Just like, look for the little things in your budget that have seemingly minor impacts, because they're probably not as minor as you think they are.
I would also say, like, it has taken me a long time, and I'm still a little bit emotional about it, is removing the emotion from your finances.
Yes.
Like, it's honestly just numbers.
It is.
Like, you bring in X amount of dollars per month, X amount of dollars is going out. Just make sure you're making the best decisions when it comes to the things that are going out.
Yeah. And people that make $25,000 a year, they have the same problems that people that make
$25 million
have.
Yeah.
It's just that there's more zeros on those.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's really it.
So Matt and I fight about money all the time, because I came from a very, I was a single mom, right? I got divorced, and then I didn't have anybody telling me what to do. Dobby was a free elf. Okay. Dobby had no master, but now Dobby has a master.
Yes.
So like, how do I have these healthy conversations? Like, what are some things that you and your husband do where you talk about, like, this is going to be my fun thing that I buy.
Yeah.
You don't get to say anything about it because I make my own money, kind of thing. And then, like, because you have to think that in most relationships, one person's good with the money, one person is not. So like, how did you guys get there? Or what do you advise for your clients too? Like,
This is an awesome question, because so many people struggle with this.
Yeah.
So
Me, number one.
Yeah. We are not perfect either.
Shapiro too.
Yeah, we're not perfect either. So, okay. So when Byron and I knew that we were like in a committed, happy, healthy relationship, that's when we started talking about money. And I will tell you this, fighting and arguing about money is off limits to us. And we said that from the beginning of our relationship.
Okay.
Like, we will talk about money, and we will be calm, cool, and collected adults when we have these conversations. I grew up in a household where money conversations were volatile.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Volatile, because the bar took all of our money growing up. So those were volatile conversations.
Yes.
And so to me, I'm already on guard about money.
Dude, same.
Because of that.
My defense goes up.
Yeah.
I'm immediately.
I got a wall.
Somebody's trying to tell me what to do. I'm like, nah, bro, that's not how it works.
Right. And so Byron's parents grew up actually talking to them about money, or they could hear money conversations happening in their household.
Okay.
So it was important to us to say up front, this is a boundary that we have. And when we talk about these, it needs to be a really safe environment.
Okay.
So I think that's the first thing. And like, we came up with that on our own. There was no counselor or anybody like that involved in it.
Yeah.
But I just knew that because of my past experience, I needed to have that conversation with him. Like, this needs to be a safe space for me. So we agreed that when we bought the house together, that there would be a household checking account.
Okay.
That our bills flow through.
Okay.
Okay. And that he would maintain his own account and I would maintain my own account. Okay. And so we agree upon the amount that goes into that account every month. We both contribute the same amount, regardless of who's the breadwinner and who's not.
Okay.
And then our money is our money.
Got it.
And so I spend it how I want. He spends his how he wants. Now, I will also say that there are big purchases that need to take place in our household.
Of
like
course.
a refrigerator is soon up on deck for us.
Yeah.
We're having conversations about what that's going to look like.
Yeah.
Right. We'll agree upon how much we want to spend and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Then we'll shop for it. We never go and buy the first time we look at something.
Right.
Especially, I'm going to say like $250 plus
Dollars.
Or talk, yes,
Yeah,
$250.
for sure.
Like we're talking about
Same.
it.
We're
right?
always talking about it.
We're always talking about
Yeah.
it. I probably wouldn't go shopping without telling him what I'm spending, even though it's my own money.
Right.
I just don't want to come home with like bags and him be like,
bro,
what's going on here? Right? Like, okay.
Well, and I think, and our money is, and I don't know, that's, you know, this could be, you guys are one example, I could be another example, where like our money is combined. So everything we have and everything we see is all together, which also leads to conversations of my husband asking me why I spent $3 at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's on our joint credit card, which is in both of our names. So it attributes to both of our credit to make both of our credit good. Well, and not to put anybody on blast, Matt's credit's perfect. So like he does the right thing, which is great. My credit was not perfect when we met. So I'm like white knuckling it, right? Because I'm like, I know he's right, but God, it drives me crazy.
It's so hard to make this transition.
It's so hard. Why am I bucking this so hard?
Yeah. And I'll say, like, you guys need, whoever it is out there, you need to agree on what you're going to do with your money.
Yes.
Right? And if you can't agree,
ultimately, you need to be on the same page.
you need to be on the same page. But if you cannot agree, you need to keep separate accounts until you do come up with a plan together.
Yes.
Because if you don't agree and you still put your money together, you're asking for World War III.
You're just fighting all the time.
And who wants that stress in addition to everything else going on in the world right now?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and it's hard because he is very much like OCD perfectionist, like 100%, 1,000%. Everything has to be right all the time.
To the penny.
To the penny. And I'm like fluid, right? Go with the flow, bro. Everything is fine. Life is great. We have money. We're good. But I think that what we need to do is, I don't think we need to get to the point where we're separating our money, but I do think we need to get to a set amount where like I get to spend X amount of dollars without you saying something about it.
Yes. Most of the time, in my experience, that threshold is somewhere around $250. That's why...
A month, right?
A month.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm going to say a $250 purchase.
Okay, got it.
Right?
Got it, yeah.
So if it's above that, you probably want to tell the other person about it.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Like...
Yeah.
I have had situations where clients come in and like, sometimes we play the role of a counselor.
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
I know.
And it's cool.
Right.
But like...
I know.
I don't want to be at the table when you tell your spouse that you bought a four-wheeler and the other one didn't know about it.
Right.
That's happened before.
You know,
It's a little uncomfortable over here too. Just saying.
I don't like this shit either.
Right.
But the other thing that's weird to me is like these damn car commercials around Christmas where Lexus is like, bring home a new Lexus without talking to your wife. Here's your present. First of all, y'all didn't talk about that shit before? Right. You're going to buy me a $50,000 car? You're not going to talk to me about it?
I mean, if your bank account allows you to do such a thing, cool, that's awesome. Mine doesn't.
No.
So.
Also, see, the way my relationship setup is, if I try to pull some shit like that, you'd be like, you're absolutely crazy. Yeah. Take it back. We're done.
So you probably need to take that luggage bag right there and like hit the road.
Yeah. You better call Tyrone right now because you ain't coming back here.
That's
but
too
yeah,
funny.
like that's.
But no, I think money is a big stressor, and it is one of the biggest reasons for divorce out there.
Money, sex, and something else. I think it's the way you raise your kids or religion is like number 3. Yeah.
Those are big things, guys.
Top 3 things why you get divorced. So it's like I'm trying to find that groove and be in that perfect flow state of where we talk about money. And I think that's a good idea of like it needs to be a safe space when we're talking about it. And like he goes by the guise of, well, I want to make sure no one stole the credit card. First of all, ain't nobody going to steal the credit card and spend $3 at 7-Eleven.
You also know where my places are that I stop. So
they ain't gonna do that. They ain't gonna do that. Okay, shut up. But I do think I've asked a couple of people, and I'm very much of the mindset of like asking for opinions and advice from other people, and then I take all of that information, I reduce it down, or I take deductive reasoning, and then we find a plan from that, right?
Yeah.
Like I have another friend that her husband is also like that, where they do a monthly budget every month. They discuss it. They do it like either over date night or something because neither of them have the contention behind money.
Yes.
There's no ill feelings there.
Right.
So they discuss all their monthly finances, what they want to project for next month, what they want to do better. And then she has her like monthly fund money. He has his fund money. And then that's it. And everything's great. Yeah. Like that is such a great idea.
I have somebody that she told me like she's a doll. I love her. That's why I'm having a moment over here because I just love her to pieces. But they're probably in their late 60s. For the last 20 plus years, every Friday night they sit down and eat hot dogs, potato chips, and do their budget together. And I just think that's the most precious thing in the world, right?
Is so cute.
That's why I'm having a moment over here because it's adorable, right? But have it be a fun thing even. I mean, okay, we talk about money probably more than we need to,
Right.
but we have a lot of moving parts in our household right now.
Same.
So like this morning, we literally had a conversation about money before I came here.
Yeah.
But it's always a healthy conversation. Like there's never any extra emotion in it. It's just, okay, here's what we need to talk about. Let's talk about it. And then it's done.
And I'm totally fine with talking about money every single day.
Oh, yeah.
If it's like
if it needs to happen.
If it's in your safe space. If you guys are both on the same page and we're both talking about the same thing with the same goal in mind, right? That's why I kept asking him, like, how much is it? Like, how much is it that we need? How much is it that you want to have? And he's just like of the mindset of, again, he's very much one of these people that that thinks that I can read his mind. He doesn't necessarily say the things that he's thinking. He's like,
you mean he's a man?
You should just know that. Yeah, I was going to say that, but that was a little sexist. But it's totally men.
It was.
Men. They're like, oh, don't you just know? This is just how it is. This is just how it works. No, dude, I need you to tell me that. Like, I need you to say, hey, my mind works as of, I'm going to try to save as much money on every single thing that I can so that I can retire that much faster.
Yes.
So every single thing that I think about how I can save money on that purchase so that I can put that money into a better place so that I can retire faster. Mm-hmm. I'm like, okay, well, that's just how your brain works. That's not how my brain works. So that's probably not going to work for me. I'm probably not going to do that. But I will make sacrifices in other places so that I can have the things that I do want.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to go eat out every meal. So I will cook my food at home. I will not eat until I get home. I will not stop at a gas station so that I could spend $60 on shampoo when I get my hair done.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, give and take.
Yeah.
So we just need to get to that place.
And I think, so to do the reverse sexist thing, women want to talk about it more than men do.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah, he was like, oh, you want to see the budget? It's right here on the paper.
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all.
But we have women just inherently, I don't know what it is, but like we just have this feeling of like we want to talk about it more because it means more to us from a security standpoint.
Yeah.
Like I have a balance that I want to see always in our accounts.
Yeah.
And Byron's like, dude, we're fine. I'm like, but we're $5 short. Like,
what's going on? Where did that $5 go? What happened?
Right.
Is your check short?
So,
what
like,
happened?
I know that the flip side of that is I want to talk about it more than he does.
Yeah.
But I also know it needs to be safe.
Yeah.
So whatever you can do in your household to make it safe, that's the right answer.
Totally worth it.
Mm-hmm. Totally worth it.
So for everybody that's listening, if anybody wants to contact you and find you, how do they find you? So I found you through a networking group. I'm pretty sure it was one that Allegra brought me to. We met at, what was it called?
It was a BNI meeting, right?
Yeah, BNI.
BNI, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So BNI. So yes. So how does somebody contact me? So you can look me up on Facebook, Instagram, and I have a website, wealthwave.com.
Okay.
/Lyndsey Monahan.
And Lyndsey spelled with a Y.
Yes.
Lyndsey.
That's right.
Yep.
Monahan, Monahan.
Got it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can find them anywhere. And then of course, if anybody wants to reach out and you can't find her, just let me know and I'll help you find her.
Yeah. But I think my calendar is linked to every one of those pages. So if you find me there, you can get to my calendar.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, I loved it.
This was so awesome.
This is so awesome.
You definitely have to come back.
I would love to.
Okay. Because we should talk all things money.
Perfect.
Yeah, for everybody. And for anybody listening, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. And I would just say my advice to anyone is, again, remove the emotions from your money and just start making like better decisions. Because even if your parents didn't make good decisions, doesn't mean that you can't make good decisions.
Right.
Because my parents made terrible decisions.
And you can start anytime.
Anytime.
It's kind of like dieting.
Yes.
Like just pick a point and go.
Your financial health is just as important as your physical health.
It is.
100%. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye. Bye.